Internationally acclaimed Toby Waker has been hailed as a roots music fingerstyle guitar virtuoso. He tours the world over and always leaves the audience amazed. Walker has been featured in the New York Times, London Sunday Times, London BBC, and Sirius XM Radio. He was the first place recipient of the International Blues Challenge Award, given out by the Blues Foundation in Memphis, Tennessee. He also teaches guitar and has products out on Homespun Tapes, the world's premier company for instructional DVDs and CDs. Toby Waker's new CD, What You See Is What You Get, is his 11th to date, with numerous awards, outstanding press reviews, and praise from such luminaries as Jorma Kaukonen, Bob Margolin, and Happy Traum. Toby is looking forward to letting everyone hear his latest release. So Toby, what can you tell me about this new CD?
Well, this one is called What You See Is What You Get. And really what that means is I'm just in front of these microphones and there's no other instrumentation. It's just me live, and pretty much every song was the first take. So what you see is what you get. It's just raw mixture of mostly blues. There's a lot of original songs on it. A lot of times I used to do just all covers, but there's about 6 or 7 original songs on it, and just having a lot of fun with the whole thing. There's no other instrumentation, no basses, there's no drums or anything like that. It's just me. It's what you see is what you get.
What about the songs? Do you have any stories behind them?
Yeah, well, okay. There's a song that, this particular song, it's about traveling. It's about traveling all over the country. Gee, I can't remember the title of the song right now. I'll be gone. And it's literally about me in high school reading Jack Kerouac and reading Pete Seeger and reading Woody Guthrie's Bound for Glory and wanting to travel all over the country. I just had the hots to do that. And I wound up doing that 3 times in the past, over a period of 2 years, hitchhiking back and forth across to California. So that song in there is about that. There's a reference to me going into a bar and playing in the afternoon and making pocket money, and I wound up doing that quite a bit, going literally into a bar and just putting the guitar case up against the bar and not doing anything else. And then somebody would usually say, "Hey, why don't you play something?" Yeah, this is the afternoon, so you usually get a lot of drunks in the place. And but I would say, "Well, okay," and I'd play one song really, and then I'd start to put the guitar away. And then people would they'd inevitably be, "Oh, come on, play another one," and I'd pass my hat. So I would play it about a half hour. I'd make like about, I don't know, $9, $10, $12. This is in the mid-'70s. And that would last me actually a couple of days. So in that song, I also talk about drinking with moonshiners, which I did, befriending coal miners, that I met coal miners. I met a tramp in a hobo camp. He was running from the law, literally running from the law. So that's really a story about me hitchhiking around the country, riding boxcars, literally hitchhiking as much as I could to get around. So the album has a lot of songs like that, and I'm really kind of happy to finally put that song out, because I wrote that song about 40 years ago, and this is the first time I'm recording it.
Well, you love all these old guitars, so what kinds are you using on the album?
Well, there's a whole bunch of them, and I'm going to talk about them right now, and there's stories behind each one. This first one is a 1930 National Triolean. It's a steel guitar. I use this on Good Morning Little Schoolgirl. this particular guitar, I hungered for these guitars when I was 16, 17, could never afford them. I'd go to Matt Umanoff's in Greenwich Village, and I always looked at these guitars. And well, it was recently, maybe about 3-4 years ago, that I was taking my wife and her friend from Florida on a tour of Greenwich Village, and we happened to walk into Matt Umanoff's, and this baby was sitting there. And I walked out without it because I said, oh, I can't spend that kind of money. This is the first time I could afford it, though. And as we're walking down the sidewalk, my lovely wife, Carol, said, oh, Toby, how can you live with yourself? You got to go back and get it. Well, my goodness gracious, what a great woman to be married to. So that I use this guitar. This guitars, they were made to compete with the big bands, with bands that had trombones and banjos, because the only guitars they used back then were these small little guitars. So these guitars are naturally very loud with a cone in it. So that's one guitar. This other one here that I use, the 12-string that I use, this particular guitar is from 1961. It's a Gibson B45, and what's special about this guitar is the fact that only 77 of these were made. And there's a YouTube video of the Reverend Gary Davis playing this on Pete Seeger's show, and he had one of these guitars. The song, Walk This Way, da 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 da, baby don't you ever do, by the Rooftop Singers. One of them used one of those models. So the person I bought this from, I asked him, I said, so you mean to tell me there's a 1 in 77 chance that this was the guitar that was used by either one of those? And he said, yeah, that's exactly right. So that's this 12-string that I absolutely love. And I'll show you another one that I have here. This one I think I used on Everything I Want. This is a 1944 Gibson. It's called a, well, it's a banner guitar because, matter of fact, I'll bring a little close-up here. Can you get that? Okay, there's a banner that says only a Gibson is good enough. And the reason there's a banner on this is because these guitars were made during World War II by mostly women. They were all women working in the factory, in the Gibson factory in Kalamazoo. Gibson denied this for 20 or 30 years. And they finally said, oh yeah, we did have women working. So these guitars were built by women, inspected by women, the strings were put together by women, although I don't have the original strings. The other interesting thing is during the war, Gibson had denied that they were making any guitars because it was the war. They had to do other things, but at the same time they were advertising that they were making guitars. So these guitars, only the ones during that wartime era had that banner Gibson. And I want to talk about this last one here. This one is a special guitar. I use this one all the time in my stage acts. This is a Hussam Dalton guitar, but there's something real special about this one. This particular one I found in Lark Street Music over in Teaneck, New Jersey. And well, it was used and the price was up there. So I asked the guy, I said, Buzz, that was his name, I said, do you think I can get a break on the price? And I gave him a considerably lower price. And he said, well, I got to ask the owner. So he goes back and comes back about 5 minutes later and says, yep, she's going to give it to you the price that you wanted, which I was shocked. And I said, that's wonderful. And he says, the only reason she's given it to you for that price is she says that she asked me, are you a professional musician? And I said, you know, yes. And he said, well, then you give it to him for that price. I was floored. And then 3 weeks later, I got a letter in the mail. And this letter said, to Toby Waker, I hope you get much enjoyment from owning the Hussam Dalton as I did. I found it to be a very versatile instrument and especially enjoyed it for all the strange tunings, and the cutaway helped immensely in certain songs. I hope it brings you many years of pleasure and musical inspiration. With best wishes, Mary Chapin Carpenter. So this was Mary Chapin Carpenter's guitar, and now I own it. I use this on Swing Bean and Highway, and I think I use it on Cheese Into Something. So those are the instruments I'm using. And I just want to tell everybody out there, oh yeah, we got to get this guy. This is the electric guitar that I'm using. I use this on 6 of the songs on the album. This is a 1961 Gibson ES 120. I found this in a little music shop in Huntington for $300. I bought it, and about 7 months later, I really needed money badly, and I went back and sold it to them for $300. A few months later, I walked back in. The guitar was still hanging on the wall waiting for me, and I bought it and never let go since. So this is just a wonderful instrument, and it was meant to be with me. So those are some of the instruments I'm using, and on the website I'll have pictures of the other instruments, and I'll list the songs that I'm using on all these this album. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it. I just want to thank everybody for picking up the album. This is this special surprise inside this video. It's exclusive. Nobody gets to see it unless they bought the CD, so I want to thank you all for buying the CD. And especially I want to thank Bob Scander for doing the engineering work, and Patricia Shee for doing the video work, and my friend Larry Sribnick for the photography, and David Durr, he's the graphic designer, and of course my wife Carol, who God knows puts up with me. So anyway, thanks folks, and you know, I think maybe we'll get back in the studio and we'll record a song live that'll be on the CD, but you'll actually see me recording the song. I think we'll do Good Morning Little Schoolgirl, we'll do it on that steel guitar. So they get all ready, we all ready, oh, we're ready to go.
We're rolling.
Alright, we're rolling, here we go. Good morning little schoolgirl. Can I come Waker.